Hey folks, thanks for joining me today. So today's tutorial I wanted to get posted up last week, but I ran out of time and couldn't get it out, so I'm posting it today for you. This is going very fast, and it's because I wanted to put as much detail as I could into this to show you exactly what I was doing. And there's a lot of blending in this. So because of that, that's what takes up a lot of the time. But this is the year of the snake. So last year I did a dragon for the year of the dragon. So I thought this year I would do one for the Lunar New Year or the Chinese New Year, which is the year of the snake. So I'm putting this on a Mad River stone that I collected last summer. And I started off with, I believe it was called Poppy Red. So I put that on, and then I put on some, hold on, let me start over again. I used Poppy Red. I put it on with a paintbrush. And then to get rid of the paintbrush strokes, what I did was I sponged it on just to make it nice and smooth. And then I added a second coat on the bottom. And then on the top, I added some white while it was still wet to give it a blended look. So it goes from light to dark from top to bottom. Now I am etching on the snake that is going to be the representation of the year of the snake. So I know his head right now kind of looks like E.T., if you can see what I'm doing there. But I'm also putting on a Chinese headdress on him to really make it look like the Lunar New Year or the Chinese New Year for the year of the snake. So once I've got them all sketched on there, I'm now going to use some primary yellow by DecoArt, and I'm painting on his belly. So this is going to be, he's going to be kind of sort of sitting on his belly, which most snakes do actually, but he's also standing up. If snakes stand up, I don't know the proper terminology for the actions of a snake, but just go with me. You'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm doing his face or the head. I'm doing his belly, all in this primary yellow. And then what I do is I take a little bit of light colors to make the light parts of it, so makes it a little bit lighter. And then I use some of that poppy red or poppy orange. I use some of that and I blend it in with the yellow to give dark shades or like shadows. So now what I'm doing is I'm using a blending brush that I got from Amazon. If you want to get a hold of some of your own, there is a link in the description below. But what I'm doing now is I'm just sort of brushing out or blending out all of those brush strokes so that when I do start to blend on this, then I won't have any of those brush strokes in between that are dried up, and then you're trying to, clean it up, and it's hard to do. The rock is bumpy enough. We don't need to add more to it. So here I am. I'm just adding in some of that poppy orange while the yellow paint is wet, and I'm giving him a little bit of shading on his front chest there. And I will be going in and putting in some lightness as well, but I'm going to let this dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to do the body of the snake, so the top of his body. And I am using Red Alert by DecoArt. If I miss telling you what paint color I'm using, I do list them all in the description below. I list the brand name and I list the color name, because they are different per brand. And I have shown you that in a tutorial last year there, where I showed you two different Kelly greens and by different companies, and they were completely different colors. So just keep that in mind. And that's why I list both the brand name and the color name. So anyways, I'm just doing up the rest of his body, and I'm using that red alert. I love this color because it is so vibrant. There's other reds that kind of have like an orangey hue to them, or maybe a brown color to them. This one I find is like the best red that I have in my stock. So, or in my inventory. So that's why I've been using this one quite a bit, especially for getting a lot of that bright red color. And it's great for blending. I find that anything that has this consistency, and it's almost like kind of I want to say like maybe just a little bit thicker than a yogurt consistency, like when it comes out of the bottle, is really, really good for blending because it takes longer to dry, and you can put a lot of blending in there. So another thing that you can do is you can purchase from, I believe it's FolkArt that has the products, but it is a blending medium, or you can get a floating medium. Either one will work. It slows down the drying time so that you can use this and do the blending but just by adding a couple of drops of that product in there as well. I've learned this since I started doing the one-stroke painting, and there will be more of those coming. I do have the flower for February coming, and that is with one-stroke painting. And I've got a lot of hearts and Valentine's things that are coming up, and they will be coming out back to back. So stay tuned for that. The best way to be in tune for that when I do throw something up onto YouTube is to ring the notification bell. I'm saying this in backwards, but ring that notification bell. It'll give you that notification when I post something new. And if you like the video, give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, I have a lot of videos. I've been so busy editing and doing the voiceovers and getting all of these ready for you. And I've had so much fun doing them all. So stay tuned. Like I said, they'll be back to back. So like one day after another. I'm still working on a few others as we speak. So hopefully I will have those done and edited and ready to go to before Valentine's Day. But we are going to call that one the Heart series because they're all different kinds of hearts with different types of techniques. So stay tuned for those. So now I'm using a smaller blending brush. This is one that I made myself. If you're interested on how to do it, there is a link in the description below to the video for that. And if you're interested in any of my other videos, you could always search through them all, or you can go to my year in review. So I have done one for each year. And again, they're listed in the description below. You click on that video, you watch that. It's a series of pictures of what we did in that year. And then in the description of that video is a link to every single one of those pictures that takes you straight to the tutorial. So know that that's all there in every description when I post a new video. So now I'm just doing up some with this little brush that I've made, the blending brush. I'm adding in some white on his face, and now I'm just giving him some cute little rosy cheeks. And I put on some light areas just by adding white while the yellow was still wet, and just added in where there would be some light sort of glimmering off of his scales and things like that. And now I am putting on the base coat of the, we'll call it a headdress. I'm not exactly sure what they call it But that's how I see it, is as a part of the costume is the headdress. Maybe it's a crown or the hat that they wear, but I'm just basically making the base coat of it, which is again this red alert that I like to use so much. And I'm just rounding them off a little bit. I do go in with my fine lining brush. I put in some detail and I do add some glitter paint to this. So I use Festive red and you'll be seeing that a little bit later. So I also am outlining the snake I'm not using black. I'm actually using, again, this poppy orange. I keep going back to it, but I'm using the poppy orange and I just added a little bit of black to it just to darken it up a bit. So it's almost like a burnt umber. And I use that to outline the snake where the top of his body meets his belly. And then I also use it, you can really see the color here, for his belly scales. So I do this, make them very narrow up at his neck. And as we go down his body, I gradually spread them apart. And don't forget to curve them like how I'm doing there right now, because his body curves. So you've got to make those scales look like they're curving along with the curve of his body. So I'm doing this as like the baseline, and then I do go in with a little bit of white mixed in with a little bit of the poppy orange again, and give it some lightness. So I put a little bit of it on the top of the line, and then I add a little bit more black to the original poppy orange that I had mixed up already. I added in a little bit more black just to give it a little bit darker shade to go underneath those belly scales. So I'm doing that right now, actually. So yeah, so that's how you get those belly scales look almost 3D, and they go in line with everything else, like the lights and the darks, the shadows, that's part of the snake. And I didn't talk about this when I was doing it, but I will now. The light on his back, I just used a little bit of white paint while the red was still wet so that I could blend it in. And I just followed it along the curve of his back, because that is sort of like the peak of his back. So it slants down on either side of that. And I really wanted to show the curve of the body. So that's how I was able to do that, just by using shading. So, and that's what this tutorial is all about. It's to show you how you can use shading, both with adding white or adding black or a darker color. Doesn't necessarily have to be black. But just to show the shading part and how you can blend that all in together to make it look almost like 3D. So that's what this whole tutorial is about, is to show you all that good stuff. So you'll see that now there's a face that is drawn onto the snake, and I did that off camera, not on purpose, but I forgot to press record, and so it magically appeared. So now I'm just painting his eyes in black, and I guess because of the eyelashes, it's now a girl, a girl snake. And I'm just making it look really pretty. I know that snakes don't usually have eyelashes because they have this special eyelid that goes over top of their eye that keeps dust and stuff out. But this one's going to be a cute little pretty snake for Year of the Snake. So I painted the eyes all in black and added in some eyelashes. Those will disappear and come back. I added the nose, and by curving the mouth the way that I did, it makes it look like that's the front of the jaw. There's a little bit of lightness on top of the nostrils or just above the nostrils as well. So that gives the illusion that there's a bridge there for the nose. Because the snake is looking at us straight on. So you got to use a little bit of that shading in order to make it appear like it is looking at you and has a little snout on her, sorry. So then I threw on some eyebrows there, and I'm finishing up some outlining. Again, this is not black. This is the poppy orange mixed in with a little bit of black to give it a dark umber kind of color. And I am just outlining around the face of the snake, just to make sure that I get all the features accentuated that I want. That's a big word. Anyways, I really wanted to get the focus on those parts, and that's why I'm doing the outlining on this. I use the same color on the hat, which I'm doing right now, and I'm adding in some little details. So later on, it's kind of like I'm sketching on with paint, or I am drawing what I want to color in, and you'll see that in just a bit. But I just went with it. I didn't have this pictured out anywhere or in my head or anything. I just let the creativity flow out of my arm, down through the paintbrush, and onto the painting. So when I did the design on the hat, I had no clue what I was doing. I just went with it. So I think, honestly, it turned out absolutely amazing. And I was very, very pleased with it. So now you may be asking, hey, why are you painting the eyes white when you just painted them black? Well, because I want a really thin black outline on the eyes, because I'm going to be using metallic copper for the eyes. So I really want those to stand out, and it just wouldn't if I left them black. So I painted them white. I'm going to let them dry. While they're drying, I am now using that Festive red, and I am painting in between the lines of the design that I painted on the hat that this little snake is wearing. I do also add some additional details, and you'll see all of that. It's coming up, so stick around. But I add in some glorious gold. I add in some crystal green, and it's all by DecoArt, and it's the metallic series. So here I'm doing some of the gold, just putting it on, sort of making the outline stand out even that much more, and adding that bling, I guess, or the glitter, to really make it look spectacular, make it look royal almost, and really putting in some of those Chinese elements into the snake for the Chinese New Year. You may have noticed too that I'm using a lot of golds and reds and different shades of reds, and that's again because of the traditional costumes that are worn for the Chinese New Year, which by the way was on January the 28th. So it is also the Lunar New Year, so it's when the moon begins its cycle again for the year, for the full moon cycles. So that's another name for it. So yeah, I'm just adding in all of these gold pieces, really making it look really royal, or like worth money, you know, like really rich, and in celebration of the new moon, and of the Chinese New Year. So now I'm adding in those crystal green color. Again, like I said, it was metallic colors, and I'm just adding in sort of gems on the hood, on his hat. Sorry, not on the hood, on his hat. And then I put on some black dots with tools that I received from the Dotting Center. So if you're interested in getting your own, there's a link in the description below. So while the black parts of the eyes are drying, I am putting on some danglies from the hat, from the gold swirls there, and bringing them down, and then adding some little red tassels. Now I'm thickening up the eye that is surrounding the white, and I'm actually adding a little more to the eyelashes just to bring that to more attention. And I'm using some watered down black paint. So with these particular features, I wanted to go with the black because I really wanted the eyes to pop. I also use the black to outline the gold. I don't know what you call them, but swirly things that are on either side of the hat, as well as putting in some details here on those tassels and around the gems that are hanging from the hat. So they're almost like earrings in a way, I guess. But the watered down paint really helps keep it thin, and it allows for my brush to move along and keep things thin. I don't get big blobs and things like that. I also want to say I apologize for the crackling of whatever is crackling in the background. I think it might be my headphones, so I will be investing in some new ones. So I do apologize for the scratching and crackling. um, so I just finished this off. I put on some of that copper color on the eyes and a little bit of white spots for glitter, and it's done. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.